In September 2024, Albania made headlines when the Prime Minister, Rama, announced his government's intention to establish the world's smallest microstate in Tirana, dedicated to the Islamic Sufi order of the Bektashi. Speaking at the United Nations, Rama praised the order's role in promoting peace, tolerance, and interfaith dialogue, calling it a cornerstone of Albania's long-standing tradition of religious coexistence. While legislative details remain forthcoming, the announcement thrust this relatively unknown mystical faith onto the world stage. Intrigued by this proposal, the Prime Minister has kindly agreed to meet me and explain the reasoning behind his statement. The announcement of the independent Bektashi state first came from you. I'm wondering what it is that sparked that idea.
Listen, the Bektashi is an order that is very special and is a national treasure for us. And unlike the other communities that are part of bigger constellations and can rely on long chains of solidarity and also of help for educating their young clerics or for building their infrastructure and so on and so further, the Bektashis are just masters of their own fate, and they don't belong to any constellation. And that's why it's important to do everything possible to keep them alive, because otherwise they will face extinction. And giving them a special status, I'm sure would help them to generate more revenues for themselves, and also to have a place they deserve beyond the borders of the country.
What does an independent Bektashi state mean to the Albanian people and also Europe?
Listen, this is very symbolic, and in terms of size is very modest. It's just very few hectares in the land they already own and where they already have their center. But again, for Albania, it means to highlight a very precious part of its national heritage. And for the community itself, it means to have a guarantee that it will keep going without facing extinction.
Oh. Should any religious community within Albania perceive any bias or privilege because of this, how would you address?
They don't need to. This is not an Albanian competition where someone is being favored and someone else is not. This is, again, in the nature of the Bektashi community, that is a community relying only in its own self, while the Sunni Muslims, the Christian Orthodox, the Catholics, they belong to far larger constellations and they have their own points of reference outside the country, and they have many choices to educate the young priests or the young imams and so on and so further. So I don't see any reason why they should feel like being treated unfairly.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister. Albania has long been a model of interfaith harmony in the Balkans. In this climate, the Bektashi order, a mystical Sufi tradition founded in 13th century Turkey, found a welcoming home. Emphasizing spiritual freedom and inner reflection over rigid rituals, it thrived in Albania's culture of religious tolerance. Bektashism flourished in Albania, becoming the country's fourth faith, alongside Sunni Islam, Christian Orthodoxy, and Catholicism. In this program, we will be diving into the history of the Bektashi, how they arrived in Albania, and how the smallest of Albania's religious community contributed greatly to the nation's independence in 1912. I'm in the central park of Tirana. It's wrapped around an artificial lake, and it's a beautiful place to come and start the day. Seeing all the people out relaxing, having their coffee, the elderly playing dominoes. But I've come here because of this monument. It's in a central, predominant place on a hill. And it's given such importance because of these three men, three national heroes, the Frasher brothers, Abdul, Naim, and Sami. These men did not fight with guns and bullets. They fought with words, which were powerful. They were not only bound by their name and their blood, but they were bound by their Bektashi faith, which guided their hands when they wrote that literature, that poetry, those political speeches that reverberated with the national character of the Albanians and united them in a common goal: independence and the creation of the state of Albania. We're going to explore this Bektashi faith on this trip. See some wonderful landscape, some beautiful rivers, mountains, and their worship places that are hidden high up in the hills and in very remote locations. So, a good place to start is at the headquarters of this religion, which is here in Tirana, the Krye Gjykata, and it's very close. Let's go check it out. There are beliefs that Bektashism arrived in Albania before the Ottoman conquest. Its early missionaries became entwined with Christian saints like Saint Spiridon, known to the Bektashis as Seri Saltik. This blending of Christian and Muslim traditions enabled Bektashis and Christians to worship side by side. Visitors are welcomed to explore the Krye Gjykata's richly decorated prayer halls, peaceful gardens, and a museum which offers insights into the Bektashi's religious diversity and mystical heritage. Like many faiths around the world, 3 is an important number to the Bektashi. In Christianity, there is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. To the Bektashi, there is Zoti, God, Muhammad, the Prophet, and their most important Imam, Ali. This Holy Trinity made it easier for the Balkan Christians to understand Bektashism and paving the way for Sunni Islamic teachings when the Ottoman Empire expanded. As the Turks slowly migrated from the east down through Persia, Iran, and into what is today Turkey, they absorbed the different beliefs and religions that they passed. And it was in the 13th century that this man, Haji Bektash Veliu, incorporated them all into what is today Bektashism. Later, in the 15th century, it was formalised as the religion that we know today. There's such an increase in Bektashism, and this Krya Gjashata, with its museum, is a great place for people to further understand this mystical religion. It's a wonderful modern museum with so many great exhibits, which I'm sure are going to help us further understand Bektashi. The Bektashi order gained substantial influence in the Ottoman Empire through its close alliance with the Janissaries, the elite imperial guard. Composed largely of Christian boys taken hostage through the shume system and forcibly converting them to Islam. The inclusive and syncretic nature of Bektashism made it easier for these converts to reconcile aspects of their earlier Christian faith with their new Islamic identity. And formal ties were established between the two around 1591, when Bektashi dervishes became the spiritual guides within the Janissary corps, akin to an army chaplain. The empire conquered new lands, and as a result, the Bektashi order spread across the Balkans. Early Bektashi dervishes in the Balkans played a greater role than just religious leadership. Their teches were the centre of social activity and support, providing food for the poor and spreading compassion and tolerance rooted in their divine principles.